Hey, what's going on, Internet? My name is Jose Otero, and I'm at oneup.com. And the other editors and I were thinking, why do we love games? So in this video, we're going to answer that.
Hi, my favorite video game moment comes in the game Final Fantasy VI, where about halfway through the game, the villain actually destroys the world. And it's very rare in a piece of fiction that you see the villain achieve his goals, and the heroes sort of have to scramble to figure out what to do next. And that's exactly what happened in Final Fantasy VI. And I think it's very rare to happen in a game, especially today, which is why that's one of my favorite moments.
So I really like two things in games. I like creativity and I like weird mechanics. So a game I love that has both of those is called Stubbs the Zombie. And I came about, I think 2005. It was an Xbox game originally and a PC and Mac game. But basically you play as a zombie, you do lots of weird stuff. But in the game, there's this dance battle where you face off against this like police commissioner. And it makes no sense, but that's kind of the whole point of the game, is this isn't a game that makes sense. And that's kind of why I like it. It's so random and fun, but also kind of inspired creatively, so go check it out.
Hey kids. Alright, so one of the reasons I love games so much are because of their atmosphere, and no game is quite as effervescent for me as Grim Fandango, which is Tim Schafer's game from '98. And just the opening scene of that game when you enter Manny's office does an amazing job at creating this kind of smoky, scotchy, jazzy, noir atmosphere that, you know, ropes you in right from the beginning and never lets go until the end.
So one of my favorite video game moments comes from the original Half-Life. At some point, a helicopter has been chasing your ass for a good 20 to 30 minutes, and when you finally get to the supply cache that has a laser gun rocket launcher, you're like, finally, asshole helicopter, you're going down, because the moment you get the rocket launcher up, the helicopter comes right into view, and you can just line up, hit the button, and boom, it's like the most satisfying 12 seconds in video games in first-person shooter history.
So why I love video games is the suspense. My video game moment comes from Silent Hill 2, and it's the moment that James finds out that he is actually, well, spoiler, hang on, but you've had 10 years, so it's not really a spoiler. But it's the moment James finds out that he was actually his wife's murderer. And it was just something I'd never seen before in games, this kind of idea of an unreliable narrator, someone who didn't know what they were doing at the time, or at least you didn't know as the player, and then the big reveal happens, and you're like, oh my God, this is totally not what I expected.
Okay. The moment that I picked that really represents why I like video games is the moment from Bioshock when you confront Andrew Ryan and you realize you've been under somebody else's control for the entire rest of the game, and Andrew Ryan forces you, the game takes control away from you to kill him. And the reason this is so amazing is it works on three levels. One, it's a hell of a plot twist in and of itself. Two, it makes you question everything you've done throughout the game. The game gave you the impression that you were free when in reality you weren't. And then three, it works as sort of a commentary on video games as a whole. And I think that any moment that can work on all three of those levels in such a deep manner is pretty representative of what I go to video games, what I want to experience when I play.
One of the moments that made me fall in love with video games was in the original Castlevania for NES. Once you get through the game, as you make your way through the castle along a map, you go across a bridge and up the clock tower and then into this kind of odd little turret skewed to the side where Dracula waits for you. As you go through the game a second time around, midway through the game, about the third level, you'll notice in the background that that exact situation where the bridge and the turret and the tower are is a background detail, something that you probably didn't pay attention to the first time around. But it's a really great example of the kind of subtle detail and attention that made Castlevania such a great game.